There's one announcement to all the participants. I would like to request all the participants to mute yourself when this. I would like to request all the participants to mute yourself when the speaker is speaking. Thank you so much. We will start our webinar in some few minutes. We will wait for more of our friends to join. Thank you. So there's one request from the IEDC. I want to request all the participants to mute yourself when our speaker is speaking. Thank you so much. And then thank you so much for joining our webinar here at Bangalore Institute of Technology, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Cell webinar on building the next SA.
Hello. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, sir. Utkarsh, can you check what's going on? Are we live?
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are. I can hear you.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Tell me, sir. Hi.
Yes. So good evening, everyone. Myself Abhinam Rao. I'm from IETC. I would request our principal sir to share words for our participants. Hello. Principal sir. Hello. I think sir is not getting our voice, so it's a time. So can you start, Mr. Arun?
Yes, I will. Yeah.
Yes. You start, please.
Utkarsh, would you like to open this, or can you directly start? Everywhere for free. Now, I'm not against coding per se. What I'm against is wasting a lot of time to make the first move. The very first move of actually reaching out to your customers, or actually bringing your idea back, out into life, right? uh, let's say that you guys want to start a side project in college. You have to pull somebody from the CS or IS department. You have to pull somebody from here, from there. It's a lot of work. You don't need to do this, right? So you kind of have, you can, using no code tools that you can see it on the screen, and I'll be showing you a couple of these tools, not all of them. So you can actually start building something called an MVP, which is a minimum viable product. What a minimum viable product is, something that is bare bones, right? You can just attach a bunch of things together, and you can just make it into a bare bone product that you can start sharing with your circles and your audience. So you can start getting feedback and validation on your idea, and that's essentially all you have to do to kind of make the next $1 million, the next $1 billion startup. I mean, that's exactly how I've done it, and I'm sure that all of you guys can do it as well. So let me take you a bit down some memory lane.
So what is a no-code app?
Excuse me.
What is a no-code app?
Who's this? Guys, if you can reserve this session.
1 second. Yash, can you behave properly? I've asked you to mute yourself. There is going to be a Q&A round once Varun is going to end the webinar. Then you can ask all your questions to him. Until then, please mute yourself. This is the last time I'm repeating. If you don't want to attend it, you can leave. Start.
Yeah. Okay, so I think back when I was my second year of engineering, right? I think most of you guys are in the second and third final years. I had started up, and so as you can see on my screen, the idea was to initially build one of Bangalore's best marketing companies with the idea that let everybody work remotely, right? But then at the same time, I'm not from a business background. I didn't really have a lot of money on my side either, and plus, I was just an engineering student like all of you guys are. Okay. So I started, this journey by freelancing online. 1 second, Utkarsh, I'm getting a lot of requests to annotate on my screen. Is this something that you're moderating at the point, or I just want to clear that out?
I feel it's proper. I can see your screen. Abhinav, can you see the screen? Yeah, it's proper. You can go ahead.
Yes,
All right, cool.
don't accept the request for annotate.
Yeah, I won't do that. Yeah, a lot of people have been doing that, so it's kind of been weird. Anyway, so I started freelancing back in 2015. So I think the only thing I knew at that point in time was to write articles, and I kind of did that really well. I figured, why not go online and start selling those articles, start making some money out of it, right? So I think when I ended my first year of engineering, I had saved up about $700, $800 to doing that just by working, I think, 2 hours a week. So that was basically my seed investment that you can call. So I took the seed investment and I invested that into my first company, which was the only cost that I incurred to kind of start up. And so I'll be going through each of these use cases a little more in depth, all right, as we go along. But to kind of set the base and to kind of warm the bed, this is what you have to know at this point. And also, in addition to this, when I was in my second year of engineering, I wrote a book as well. The idea that I had was to inspire my fellow batchmates and my friends to kind of do something on their own, which I had been able to do. The kind of independency and the kind of leadership skills that you develop, especially when you're in engineering, it gives you cutting edge like nothing else, right? So which is why I started writing this book. I didn't really know how to write a book either. So what I did was I not kidding, I literally watched a couple of YouTube videos. I understood how people structured their books, how people went about the writing process, and once I had all that in place, I started writing down my manuscript. And I think I had about 3 months. I think I spent about 3 months writing the book, and I think once the manuscript was out, I went ahead and published it. Utkarsh, I think you'll have to remove this Yash guy out there. He's causing a lot of nuisance here.
Abhinav, please remove Yash Mishra out of the webinar. Please remove him. Yeah, please remove Yash Mishra out of the webinar. Yeah.
Kind of. Thanks. Anyway, so now that nuisance is out, let's all focus back on this. Okay, so like I said, so once I had the book in place, I went to a lot of publishers, and a lot of publishers, outright denied my publishing the book. Reason being, of course, because I was a nobody, and a lot of people didn't, really give all that much of importance due to whatever I had done, right? And that's something that when you're starting up, when you're at the start of your journey, all of us, you and me, both of us, we're in the same boat. We're going to face this for the next couple of years, and it's quite obvious. I did that, and after that, I came across self-publishing concept, and I went and published my own book, and which led me to launch my book with Coffee Day, and also give away $10,000 worth of my book for free. And as you can see on the screen, my cost only was $700 to get the book out there. Now, coming to Aibo, which is one of my flagship products, I can say that's something that I take pride in developing because, again, it is one of the first no-code products I really built. And to again clarify our ex-participants' doubt of what a no-code product is, essentially it's a product that's developed using just drag and drop tools. I'll show you that later as well, when I'm doing a lot of these things. You don't need to write a single line of code, which is kind of for a lot of people. So this is what it is, Aibo and Bookwala. So Aibo is something that I developed in my final year of engineering. Again, so like every engineer, like all of you must be thinking after graduation as well that you would like to go out and get an MBA degree, or you'd like to join a business school. But and I had the same dream as well. But the issue was that I couldn't afford any of these schools because they were mad expensive. And coming from a very normal background like all of us are, it is very hard to kind of make that decision. But then, given the fact that I had a lot of background knowledge, in terms of how businesses run and how startups are formed, I decided, look, why not? I just build a conversational bot wherein we can just teach people only the practical concepts of MBA, and they can just learn the concept without the pressure of getting a certification or to spending any money. I mean, the essential idea was informed because that, look, all of you guys attend a lot of classes. And 1 second, I think Abhinav has raised his hand. Is there an issue? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So again, so I think all of us, when we're attending classes, I think all of you guys would have experienced as well. You have this 1 or 2 lecturers that you really just love attending class for. I mean, it doesn't matter if you love the subject or not. I was also in engineering, and I was a mechanical engineer, and I hated most of my subjects, but some subjects I really loved only because my professors were that amazing in terms of delivering it. So what does that tell us about communication or or sharing knowledge? It tells that, look, conversations are amazing. And with respect to Bookwala, so in this lockdown, I had a lot of time to actually catch up on my reading, and I was able to complete 25 out of 55 books. And but then I use Goodreads, which is an Amazon product. What Goodreads does is that it allows you to kind of bookmark books that you want to read. It allows you to follow other people as well and kind of pick out books from their curated selections. But the issue was that the app is kind of still stuck in 2005. It's very outdated. It's very old, and you just really can't do anything with the app basically. Keeping all of these factors in mind, I decided, look, why not? Can I build a community of book lovers myself? Can I do this via Bookwala? And that's how the idea came to being. So in all of these 4 different use cases that I've just shown you, what does it tell about starting a product? 1, I've proven to you that, look, you don't need to write a single line of code. You don't need big budgets. You don't need any budgets. In fact, if you can look at the cost of Aibo and Bookwala, I've spent nothing. And I can show you that. I will show you that as well, which is the most exciting part, right? And apart from all of this, you don't need to code. You don't need to do all of that. You don't need a huge team as well. I was the only guy who worked on all of these products, which means that all of you guys watching this webinar right now can actually go back and do something of your own. And one essential part that you guys should really keep in mind is that, look, all of these problems that I've displayed here is something I had a personal connection to. It's not a random idea that I just woke up with one morning and I started developing it. It doesn't work that way. So it has to be very personal to you, and you have to have a stake in it, right? So let me take you in depth into how this product came to be. February 2019, like I've already given you the background, I was finished my mechanical engineering. I was looking for an MBA grad, but I couldn't afford it. And again, I was outright very jealous of the developer community because, trust me, if you guys want to get a certification in any computer language, you can get for free, and something that's credible and accepted by a lot of employers as well, right? That's the most amazing part of the developer community, but that's something that doesn't exist for the management community. It's not like that, right? So again, like I said, conversations are amazing. Books are boring. I agree. Nobody has the time to read all the books, especially business books, especially if you're forced upon in an MBA curriculum, right? So having all the constraints in there, right? I actually went out and built Aibo, which teaches you the basics of MBA in less than a day via Facebook Messenger. Now, at this point, you can probably ask me, look, why Facebook Messenger? Whenever you're building any product, you have to be cognizant of one very important aspect, which is scalability. How many users can you actually reach on a given day with zero money, with zero anything? Can you do that? How many users can you scale to? Can you, with this free tier of all of these products I'm going to show you, can you really reach out to 1,000, 2,000 users, right? Can you do that? So Facebook has 2 billion active users every month. And the best part is the entire platform is not dependent on any design from our side, right? Facebook has a preset design. It has a preset interface. All I had to do was just set a flow of the conversational bot, and that was it. So because of that, even a guy in Africa who's probably using a small phone, has 2G or 3G connection, can actually go through all the concepts of MBA. So that was the reason why I chose Facebook Messenger. How do I build this then? So I need a logo, which is a very basic thing that you need. I use Noun Project and Canva. A lot of you guys who are into design know what Canva is. It's fairly a simple tool to use, all online. Aibo, that's how the product came out. need a website, so I used Launchico. I needed a chatbot, I use this. So I'll just show you all of these tools right away. So this is Launchico, right? You can just type in this URL on Google to get this. The coolest part about this is that you can literally build a website like, I think 3 seconds. I can just show that you right now. Let's say my startup's name is Bit Talk, okay? And I'm building an iOS and an Android app, right? I can just click on this. Now, depending on the colors which I like, I probably, let's say I like blue, I choose blue. And depending on the font, I choose this. And as you can see on the left side of my screen here, you have your entire site ready. It's that simple. I didn't use a single line of code, and I've probably built a site that's better off than most people. Trust me, this is how easy it is, right? Coming to the free icons, this is the place where I used to actually get free icons, and these are very professional. A lot of iOS developers who are working with Apple and Google kind of use the icons themselves. So I only use the best of the best, and that's what I recommend everybody to use as well. And this is Canva, and you can literally just sign in and start creating your own designs that easily on phone everywhere as well, right? So this is how simple it is to kind of build your own stuff, right? Coming to Bookwala. Now, Bookwala was fairly a complex concept that I was trying to play around with. Reason being that, look, Goodreads is something that not a lot of people know. It's a very niche community of book lovers and people who read, right? So any of you guys who probably read know what this community is about. And it was a really bad place. Reason being is that you cannot buy books from there. You cannot even add the books to your Kindle from there. It only syncs from Kindle to Goodreads, not the other way around. And other than that, you can't really follow people that easily. It's quite hard. So let me show you what I did with Bookwala. Okay. Again, I didn't even buy a domain name. So all of my products, if you've noticed, I didn't even buy a domain name, which would probably cost you $800 or $900. I didn't do that. Reason being, it was not needed to do it. I just wanted to test my idea with a couple of users. It's not difficult. So I built this app, right? I built this app using Google Sheets. I'll show you that in a bit. So it clearly shows you what your product's idea is and what you're trying to do there. Shows you pretty good screenshots. Look, this is what the product is. This is what you're trying to tell for people. And in a very easy way, I've just shown a landing page where people can come to test my product out and can give me their feedback, right? So this is how I built Bookwala. Let me just show you what it is. So there's something called Glide App, so you can go and try it out yourself, okay? And believe me, any of the products that I've shown you, I've only used the free tier of these products. I've only used the free tier. I didn't pay a single buck for any of these. So again, trying to be very transparent here. So like this says, you can create a Google Sheets app in less than 5 minutes, right? So the moment you do it, let me just show that to you. So let's say that you guys want to add another section, right? Or let's say you want to, just kind of edit something here. Okay, for example, look, let me show you something. Wait, let me show you the Instagram copy that I built. That's a little more fun. Okay, so I wanted to build the next Instagram. I was kind of toying around with the idea. Okay. So look here. Okay, let's say if I want to edit anything, I can literally go here. I can have different aspects of it. Wait. Yeah. Check this out. It's that easy. I just have to use drag and drop, and I can do a bunch of things with this product. A bunch of things. And if you actually, so what this does, this basically creates something like this, a table like this, right? It creates a table like this in Google Sheets. All of you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys know what Microsoft Excel and what Google Sheets are. This is essentially the same. Okay, so if you log in, so when you actually log into Glide Apps and you create an account, and you can actually select from a bunch of templates as well, which is cool. Let me show you that as well. So So let's say that you guys want to build, so the next webinar, you have the next speaker that you write. You want to build an app to kind of make sure that you have one singular place for communicating all of your webinar or conference updates, and you want people to kind of sign up for the app as well. you guys can actually go out and build something that's similar, right? I select in conference here and I select this session and that's it. All you have to do is just copy this template, do a bunch of edits, and you have an amazing app ready. So the thing is that when all of you guys, especially from the entrepreneurship development cell, generally anybody in college as well, when you guys start building stuff like this, trust me, it will matter a lot more than you being from a premier institute. And I can tell you that for sure because I've been both on the business side of things, where my company has single-handedly worked with billion-dollar and million-dollar companies for years. I've single-handedly been an independent consultant for many companies, right? And I've also right now, since I'm in the job sphere, I kind of have seen all three different sides of things. And I'm not from a premier institute myself, right? I'm from a very average college. So despite that, if you kind of build your own portfolio like this, and you show and you exhibit that, look, you can conceptualize an idea, you can execute it with minimum cost and with minimum effort in minimum time, and you are actually able to validate and scale that up to a bit. You add this on your resume, I can guarantee you anybody's going to hire you. Believe me on that. Because look, when you go to a job, especially in startup, especially after the COVID era, trust me, people are only going to want to hire people who can get shit done. It's as easy as that. Nobody's going to want you to come and want to sit there. And that's kind of the trend that's always been. But especially after the COVID situation, it's going to be really bad for a couple of years. So unless you can kind of show a competitive advantage in terms of what you can really bring to the table, the leadership skill, execution skills, confidence to even try something new out, you will not really get very high paying job. Let me guarantee you that. Okay. So coming to my third idea, which I did, was Miraclepreneuring, which is the book I wrote. I wrote this when I was 19, when I was in my third year of, second or third sem of engineering, I don't remember. So again, the problem statement was that I had read a ton of books on motivation, but the issue was that I barely got motivated. I felt that I was being sold to. And trust me, so when anybody's coming and just trying to brag about what they did and trying to just sell something to them, it really hurts you as a person. It kind of defeats the entire purpose of the book completely, right? Since I was a guy who, back in 2015, starting anything in India was kind of a big difficulty because the market wasn't that mature yet. We didn't have many of these no-code tools or any of these design tools to actually do anything. I mean, I'm talking of a time when you actually needed a big fat laptop to install Adobe and Photoshop and all of those heavy softwares to actually do designing and pay the cost. Right now, you can learn designing free of cost online. You can do all of that free of cost right now. That's how amazing technology has become. And it's just been 5 years. Considering I graduated last year, it's just been 5 years. So, which is why I decided, look, if I've been able to generate money from doing something online, if I've been able to do X, Y, Z things, I think I owe it to my batchmates, to my peers, to tell them, look, if I can do it, you can do it too. And I'm going to be very transparent in my book. And keeping that essential idea in mind, I went ahead and I kind of wrote my book. This is what I use. I use Kindle Direct Publishing. Trust me, guys, you only need an Amazon account. You can go and you can start publishing your own self. Your ebooks, your paperbacks, your audiobooks, all that for free. Trust me, it doesn't cost a dime. And Amazon takes care of all the printing costs of all the distribution as well. My own book, because of Amazon, because of the press release and all that I did, it's reached every bookshelf in the world. It's also in Massachusetts Institute of Technology's library. It's sells on iBooks, Apple, Barnes & Nobles, everywhere, right? So I think after the talk, I really encourage all of you guys to go and check all of these tools out and sort of play with them. Yeah. So on the side note, also, if anybody's kind of looking to buy my book, you can, or every year, as a token of giving back to the community, on the book's anniversary, which is July the 16th, I give the book away for free. So till date, I've kind of been able to give, again, $10,000 worth of book for free, which is, I think, close to 1,000, 2,000 books, I think. Yeah. So which kind of brings me to the second part of my talk, which is how to build your personal brand. I think so far in the talk, I've shown you, look, you don't need an amazing idea. You can start with a very similar idea. You don't need a big team. You don't need money to execute your idea. It's cheap. Execution is very easy. It's almost down to $0, I would say. Okay, now that you've done all this, how do you build your brand? How do you put that in your resume? How do you, get recruiters to come and notice you, right? So I used to post a lot on LinkedIn. I was a very active guy, I think a year or two back when I was again in college. As you can see, my posts have got 200K views. I've got, I've also been featured on Entrepreneur Magazine as well. So the snippet that you're seeing right here, why LinkedIn is a powerful personal branding tool. It is from my Entrepreneur Magazine article. Now, the reason I'm telling you all of this is because this is how much the platform kind of has to provide to you. Look, the days of sending resumes are over. Believe me, in all the people that I've recruited in my life, all the people that I've hired to work for, all the people that I've worked for didn't ask me for a resume, or neither did I ask for a resume. People, look, you can actually go and look up this fact as well, that people don't spend more than 5 seconds skimming down your resume. People don't give a shit about that. It's not important. What people do really care about is the value that you bring to the society, that you bring as a person, as an individual. And that is exactly what a personal brand is about. All right. Let's say that you're a CS student studying in third year and you guys have just learned JavaScript libraries, or you guys have just learned, you guys are interning with some data science startup, or you're probably doing one of your NPTEL courses and all of that. How hard is it for you guys to actually go on LinkedIn, create an account, and start talking more about these things and start posting your opinions? Look, for example, any guy in CS, Google, does a lot of updates with their SEO structure and all that. Why don't you guys go and actually comment on it, saying, look, this is what Google did. This is what I think we can do to kind of help websites, to help Google, to help search engines crawl to websites faster and actually help people get on the first page, which will give people business, right? I hope you're getting the flow of thought, right? So believe me, it's that easy. You just need to go out there and share your opinion. Instead of doing it on Facebook or Instagram in front of your friends, I would advise, look, get serious with life. I think COVID is, a pretty honest reflection for all of us at this point. Start going and start networking with people. Reach out to people of companies, people who are working in some as managers or whatever in different places, and reach out to them. Just say to them, look, hey, I appreciate your note. I appreciate your you sharing the content here. I'd really like to learn from you. Just send that message. Believe me and Utkarsh also, I think, as far as I remember, we met the same way as well a year or two back. I don't remember, but I've known the guy for quite a while, and I think that if he can do it as well and can create such a beautiful community of entrepreneurs within your college, I think all of you guys in your college can actually take a shot at becoming. Utkarsh? Can we continue? Is the party over?
Yeah, that has been taken care of.
Great. All right.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So now that I've shown you what a personal brand is, all of you will be wondering, look, I've been talking about how to build products, how to start building a personal brand. But then how do you start? How do you go from zero to where you are today to where you can be? So I personally use something called OKRs, which is objectives and key results. Now, this is a goal setting technique that's used by Google, Microsoft, by all the top companies, right? And it's pretty simple. It's not rocket science, okay? Start with one objective, all right? Every objective has certain key results. Now, this objective is not really a task. Let's say that my objective is to get up tomorrow and start showering. That's an objective. That's not my goal in life, right? All of these kind of lying gray areas. So stick with me. I'll try explaining this in as simply as I can. But wait, let me show you this example. So this is my own personal OKR. Okay, my objective was to read and write more than last year, right? So what does it say? Your objectives have to be aspirational. They shouldn't be like a task, another thing on your bucket list to kind of complete. That's not an objective. That's not a part of the OKR framework. All right. So your objective, always remember, should be very aspirational, should be difficult to achieve, but not impossible, and should definitely challenge you. Look, I'm a pretty busy guy, all right? I know I have no time between my work and my general life. And so for me to actually start writing and reading more would have been a task. As much as exaggeration this sounds, it really is a task. But then I know that, this is not impossible for me to achieve. I might have to experiment with my timing more. I might have to, kind of go hard on myself to start developing this reading habit a bit more. And, who knows, by the end of the year, I actually might be able to be a well-read and better educated person, right? So I'm sure all of you guys have similar goals for yourselves. Look, your goal might be to probably crack X interview or to crack Y interview. That's doable. I understand that. It's very okay. But then that doesn't challenge you. It only challenges you until the point you reach your job. What happens after that? Look, just because you guys get a job or get a placement does not mean that you will still stay in the same job 6 months later. People hire and fire these days. Look, if you don't bring value, if you don't have any skills that's kind of separate you out from the rest of the people, you will not see growth in life. You will not see financial growth. You will not see any of the career growth. Believe me, that's how the market is right now. Okay. So how do you define your key results then, which is the second part of this, right? So the list that you can see down under the objective, which is read 55 books this year, create own website, move away from LinkedIn Medium. These are key results. So key results, as the word says, it's a result. It's not a subtask. All right. There's a difference. Key result is something that end goal. For example, let's say that if this webinar, this talk goes well, I know that it is a key result. All right. If it goes well, which means I might get invited to a couple more talks later on. Right. So it's a key result. So if my goal is to get invited to 5 different talks this year, I think we got a query saying, can we share the slides of the webinar? Yes, we'll be sharing the slides as well. Don't worry. I'll send a copy to the team and they'll circulate it around. Okay. Coming back. So, okay, look, if my goal is to ensure that I give 5 different talks in 5 different conferences this year, how will I know if I'm succeeding or not? I know if I'm succeeding if every talk goes well and if people actually like it and if I'm able to actually do more number of talks, right? So that's a key result that I'm achieving. Similarly, in this example as well, if I write 1 blog a week, if I write summaries of 20 books I read, right? All of this will show an indication that, look, I'm moving towards my goal. Look, in any goal, you kind of need alignment in your life. If you wake up, if you go back, after this webinar thinking, look, I'm going to try using this tool, I'm going to execute my idea tomorrow morning, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It doesn't resonate with who you are as a person. I identify myself as someone who loves reading, who loves building new stuff. Hence, I've set these goals for myself. All of us are individuals and you kind of have to find what your true north is, what really matters to you. Look, assume that tomorrow that you're thrown out of college, you don't have a job, you don't have money. What is the one work that you would do without being paid for, right? Introspect and ask yourself all of these questions. And once you get back the answer, just go back to your notebook and start writing stuff like this. Look, objective. I want to, you can probably say, look, I want to, become really good at physics, for example. I will, read 5 books on physics. I will solve 100 problems from H.C. Verma or something. I know it's an IT book, but come on, the problems are really good, right? So, you can set goals like that, right? So again, if I were to sum up the do's, the objectives should be aspirational, should be difficult to achieve, not impossible. They are not tasks or to-dos. Your key results should be specific, quantifiable, and realistic. What this means is that, look, if you notice for most of my key results here, I've added a number. Look, we humans, we for example, we identify the success or the failure of anything based on the numbers. Look, 100 people attended my webinar. Great, that was a success. 10 people attend. May not be success, right? So it's a very general way of how we are kind of tied together as people. So make sure that all of your key results have certain weekly numbers that you guys can achieve. Okay, it should be quantifiable in the sense that, look, in a month, this is I'm going to probably post 10 blogs, I'm going to write 20 articles, or I'm going to take 50 mock tests, right? Keep it very quantifiable and realistic in the sense, look, factor in your real life as well. I have a lot of work commitments, I have a lot of family commitments. So I kind of have to factor in both of these aspects to, take any decision in my life. So always be sure to consult your parents, consult your friends. Look, I plan to do this year. This is how I'm going to approach it, which means I might spend less more time with my friends. I'm going to spend less time with my family. Tell everyone, get everybody involved, make it a team effort. That's the only way you guys can achieve really anything in life. And believe me, I've learned some very hard lessons on that front. All right. And you don't, again, so if you achieve your goals well before your semester or well before the quarter, you won't think big enough. And, as weird as this sounds, this is true. And if you kind of fail to achieve your objectives in the semester, you either have set accidentally an annual goal, a goal that you want to achieve throughout the year and not in a month or not in a semester, or you've simply not worked enough, right? It could be either of these two things. So I'm going to show you something really cool here. How to build your second brain, right? So you can actually Google this concept. Okay. You can actually go and this is a pretty interesting concept in the sense that all of us take notes whenever we read. Let's say, back when I was in engineering as well, I used to kind of make my own notes out of every book or every lecture that I attended. And the issue was that I used to make the notes in a very hierarchy format, right? But our brains aren't wired to think that way. So for example, if I think about cars, I think about BMW, okay? What is BMW? BMW is a German car company, stands for Bavaria Motor Works, has a blue and white and black symbol, color on the logo, right? So if you see, I'm actually thinking horizontally. I'm not thinking in terms of hierarchies. I'm thinking this way. And that's exactly how our brain works. So I was teaching myself product design some time back. Okay. So the framework that I personally follow in terms of note taking or to kind of do my own research and to do my own studies, I take, I take summaries of all the books I read. All right. This is how I take summaries of all the books. And I kind of interlink all the notes that I take to the stuff, to the process that I want to build. Let me just show that to you. So now that you've read a bunch of product design books, your next goal is to have your own process that you can kind of start following in terms of building your next product or to do anything that you want, right? I mean, I'm just giving you an example here. So I made my entire process, but then I remembered at this part that look, I actually read a book which had certain parts of the book that I really kind of want to incorporate here, right? So I just click on this, right? And I get something on the side here. You guys can use this tool as well. Roam Research is kind of expensive, but I'll show you another alternative to it, and I'll tell you why all of this is important as well. So let's say that tomorrow you're researching for a research for a paper that you kind of want to publish, or you're trying to work on a project idea for your final year, or you're trying to just research on something you really like. Always make a habit of having notes like this on the side, be it even in your own pen and pencil notebook, it's fine. Or if you can, I'll show you another tool as well that you guys can use. It's called Notion, but let's hold on to that for a bit. Okay. So make sure that you guys, kind of interlink your notes like this in between. Okay. So let's say that, look, at this point, the frameworks, these are the different design frameworks I'm going to use. Okay. So I've listed why, why is this idea good? Who's this idea going to sell to? When and where am I going to sell this idea? And lastly, what ideas, right? I've written refer this book. Okay. I clicked on this would open. And while I'm kind of studying and, kind of revising my own process here, I can actually see the notes that I took from that book as well. So imagine when you're probably, let's say you're writing an exam on HTML, you're writing a, exam on network effects or whatever it is in your semesters, right? If you have notes in your notebook where you're kind of interlinking different notes, you will actually retain a lot more and you're able to apply notes a lot more better. And while this Roam Research is kind of like an expensive alternative, I highly recommend every student to kind of try out Notion, right? It's a 100% free product, especially, I mean, they kind of made it free right now, it wasn't before. The reason I highly recommend this tool is because, look, you guys can, download this on your phone, laptop, MacBook, anywhere, it's all free. Works really well as well. Let's say you guys want to take any project and tasks, right? For this week, you can kind of have North Star goals, what goals are in progress, what lessons or what assignments are you guys doing in progress. You can kind of, kind of get visibility on your entire life like this, which is kind of important for you to take the step one in terms of setting your own goals. And believe me, if you guys have used Google Documents or Microsoft Word, this is as easy as doing that. Check this out. You guys can see the video right on the screen. See, you guys can create your own to-do list. You can keep a track of everything that's going on with your studies, with the jobs that you're applying for, with anything that you want. Companies use it, everybody uses it. And if you really want to learn how to use it, you guys can just, I'd highly recommend going to YouTube and checking out this guy. You can just type in this thing rather, how to use Notion for students. Okay, just typing a very simple query, right? You just do this, and you can kind of watch this guy's video. I highly recommend watching this guy's video. Reason being that this guy himself is a student. He's a guy who's studying his doctorate in the UK, and he extensively uses Notion to take notes, to prepare for exams, to prepare for interviews and stuff like that. You guys can check all of these videos out. There are a lot of resources available. So the only thing that you guys need to start doing is kind of make the first move in terms of making it happen, right? So I think, if I were to summarize and give you a recap of everything that happened, I first took you through what a SaaS product is, why that's an attractive option for most people right now. You can kind of set and run and test any of your ideas without a lot of upfront investment or a lot of hard work, and how you guys can go about building your own brand, or doing stuff like tracking your goals, for example, something as simple as that, or creating your own life plan like this, right? Yeah, so if you guys want to reach out to me, this is my website. You guys can reach out, or you guys can just Google my name. All of my information is pretty much out there. So yeah, I think that's about it. Utkarsh, I think we're ready to take questions at this point.
Yeah, so thank you, Varun. Thank you for the session. So guys, once you go to your chat thing, you have an option called raise hand. So please raise hand whoever wants to ask question to Varun. Raise your hand, we will unmute you and then you can ask your question. Once you have asked the question, please mute yourself so that other can hear his answer as well. Okay? Please raise your hands whoever wants to ask the question. The guy will be getting unmuted.
Sir, you said about OKRs method, right? So I have a
Yeah.
question that how do you prioritize when it comes to having multiple things that you have to deal with, and does that can be applied for multiple things at a time? OKR method.
Oh yeah,
That's my
that's
question.
actually a very good question. So, look, I'll be very honest. I kind of had a lot of problem in terms of prioritizing myself. I think until this year as well. I found something really cool online. I'll just show you that as well. Okay, it's something called Eisenhower Matrix. Now, look, for any task that you have or anything that you have, always divide into 4 different aspects. Okay, is it important? Is it urgent? Is it urgent and important? If it's not urgent, not important, which means it's your priority 4. So if it's important, urgent, which means that look, it's somebody else's work depends on it. It's something that's time critical. Then, boss, it will come under the first quadrant, and you need to put that there. If it's important but not no urgent, which means you don't have to do it today, you can do it over the course of the next week or the remainder of this week. If it's not important but urgent, yaar kar do kaam khatam. Trust me on that. You will just finish it off. Sometimes, look, there are a lot of things in life that we don't want to do. Sometimes, like admin work or probably cleaning our own rooms for that matter. But it is an urgent requirement, go ahead and do it. If it's not important, not urgent, don't bother listening to it. So I think this is one of the best things that's helped me in terms of prioritizing tasks or even my goals for that matter. So yeah, I hope that helps you. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
There was some website wherein you told like you can create apps.
Yeah, I'll just share that with you guys. I'll share it separately with Utkarsh, and he'll circulate that with everybody else. Yeah. Is that help?
And in that website, if we create apps, will it be available in Play Store?
Yeah. See, so for the Play Store, okay, I'll show you how the apps work. Okay. So if you want to, if you the Play Store option availability, it's only with the paid version. In the free version, this is how it works. Okay. Let's say that if I key in my product here, 1 second, let me just show you my screen. I forgot to share that. Okay. Wait. I hope you guys can see my screen. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we can't
Okay.
see.
Yeah. Now you can.
No, we can see.
Okay. So now, so since I built that product using the free version, okay, I click on this thing. So people, you can just share this with people. All right, this link. Once they open the link with their phone or anything, they can actually download this app using this video that's there on my site. In fact, I'd recommend just check out this video. Right, I'll just show that to you. So people open the app using their browser here on the link. Okay. So it also installs like any native app on the phone, which means you can actually bypass the whole Play Store aspect of things. I'll tell you how. That's pretty much it. So if you open in your Android phone, if you, for example, if you guys can open this thing right now in your Android phone, you'll get a prompt from your browser saying, "Look, can we add this to you to your home screen?" Just click on that, it installs like any normal app. So that's pretty much how cool it is. Yeah.
Can we make sure that we can get returns from this?
Meaning?
Can we get returns from this app?
Returns? I didn't understand that. I'm not sure I understand that.
In Play Store, when we if people download apps, they get returns, they get money. So is it the same in this?
So yeah, you can also again. So once you go to Glide Apps, I'll share that with Utkarsh again. So once you go there, you can actually add links to your e-commerce stores. You can add links to your PayPal accounts to anything, even in the free version. So yeah, you can pretty much make money out of it as well. It's not difficult. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Varun.
Anyone
From
else?
this side.
Yeah,
Hello.
hi, Nikhil.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I had a question. So, for all your apps and the ideas that you have come up with, how do you devise and strategize a plan to reach out the public? This app might be important to, or this idea might be important.
Oh, that's a pretty cool question as well. Let me share my screen again. And let me tell you the major screw ups that I did in my first launch of my product. I think I didn't cover that bit. You guys can see my screen, right? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Guys, who was asking questions, please try interacting with me so I know that you're listening. There's a place called Product Hunt. Okay. The cool part of Product Hunt, so all these SaaS products or all the products or any app or anything that you build here, you can actually go ahead and just log in and just launch your own app here. In fact, that's what I did with Aibo as well. Let me just show that to you. So this is one marketplace where you can kind of get early traction. You can kind of, so, you know, when I launched my app on Feb 10, 2019, it became the number one product of the day. And in a single day, I got more than 500 users. It kind of went viral. So this is one place I highly recommend that you guys to check out as well, Product Hunt. If you're really into making products or anything, believe me, you will get the best ideas of products here. You will get the best free tools that people are using here. This platform is basically endless. So I went to launch my product here. Issue was that I didn't think far enough in the sense, look, if people start coming to start using the product, how am I going to engage them? How am I going to get them to probably buy a product from me, or how am I going to get them to check out my entire product, not just a couple of parts of it? So for that, I really propose that you guys build something called a newsletter. All right. See, a newsletter is a lot like a blog, except it goes out to a very shared audience. It goes to a very niche audience. Let's say that you decide to open the beta of your app to, let's say, 40 or 50 people. Share the link only with them. Take feedback. Your very first priority should actually be to take feedback from them, right? To kind of get them to kind of understand, look, how what exactly they use the products for, or what they kind of expect from it. So, for example, when I was working with Bookwala, my initial plan was slightly different. But then people told ki, ha, yaar, I mean, we can kind of find good books from here. We get good recommendations as well. We can also track books that we read. I'm like, no, you can't track the books yet, but I can. But do you mean that are you looking for a Goodreads alternative? And they're like, ha, we thought this was a Goodreads alternative itself. So within the first week of launch, versus this week itself, I kind of understood, this is what people accept. This is what people think of the app. So kind of observe them, just understand how they look. This is the very first strategy that I would say. Once you have all this in place, when you're ready to launch, in the sense, you've tested with enough people, you kind of think you have a final version of the app, go to a place like Product Hunt or go to LinkedIn, go ahead and launch it. In fact, if you guys can go and check out my LinkedIn also, I think my last 2-3 posts, I've kind of been telling people to go ahead and use my own product itself. My initial post of Bookwala kind of got 2,000, 3,000 views, so that went pretty well as well. And I got a lot of users from there. So it's all a game of, I think, for the first 4 or 5 months, or I think for the first week or two at least, at the minimum, spend time with the users, ask them a lot of questions, understand what works, what doesn't, and then sort of start iterating from there. If you guys can actually go and check out my blog, I've kind of written a couple of things on this as well. So, I mean, I write a lot on productivity. Let me just show you that as well. So all of these questions that you're answering, I kind of lay a more in-depth framework from there that you guys can refer to. So let me just show you that. Because I mean, it's very difficult to kind of sum up the entire framework in a single call here. But what you guys can do is do this instead. Wait. I just type this URL and okay, just go to essays here. And so this is where I kind of put in a lot of these things. For example, goal setting. So I wrote a pretty good thing on goal setting. How do you set goals in 2020 in a more in-depth way? And answering your question, I think it was Nikhil. You could probably refer this blog of mine, wherein I've kind of written more in depth on how you can kind of build a business model, how you can kind of understand what the customer value chain is and stuff like that. So there are a bunch of things that I've put in here. Just keep checking this, I guess. I hope that helps you at least for now.
Sure, Varun. Thanks a lot for the
Yeah.
answer. It
Great.
gives me a really better idea about it. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
Hello. Hello, Varun.
Yeah, Prakhar, tell me.
Yeah, can you tell me after making our product, what is the first step should I take to launch, or what is the first step should I take to get my first 100 customers, or the initial phase of the marketing I'm trying to ask?
So again, very good question here. So, Utkarsh, I think my voice is echoing again. Can you mute everybody?
Prakhar, can you mute yourself? I guess there's a
Yeah.
problem. Just mute yourself. If you want to ask again, you can unmute and then ask. Okay.
Yeah, that works. Okay. So yeah, so what works in terms of getting a first 100 customers? That's a very specific question, by the way, Prakhar. The framework that I've kind of developed is wait, let me just share my screen. I think you'll be able to picturize it better, which is kind of important for this. Okay. So first of all, make an informal list of where your most targeted users will be. For example, if you're selling something like IBO, right, which is a app that teaches you how to which is an app basically for MBA students. I would kind of go to Quora or different MBA forums and kind of find most of the MBA guys kind of go and hang out here. I would ask within my circles, make an exhaustive list, right? WhatsApp pages, add them, make a group or something, or make an email list, blast out an email saying, look, this is what I'm doing, this is what I plan to launch. And I really think that this product might be useful for you guys. Would you guys be interested in trying this out? So if you can see my screen, I'm going to show you. So for example, look, let's say you're building a healthcare product that sells to patients, doctors, and hospital coordinators, right? You have 3 different personas here. So first of all, you have to make, I wouldn't say an assumption, make an educated guess rather. Look, this is what, for example, if I'm out of the 3 personas that I have, let's say I want to build a product for the doctor. Because if doctors buy, which means it's the earliest chance for me to get revenue, I will get better feedback than I will from patients or coordinators. And I will actually, get more credibility as an early stage product if I go to the persona who has the most influence and most power. So divide your, your entire persona list or your target audience into 3 or 4 different types. For example, a doctor aged 32 working in hospitals in tier 2 cities, right? This becomes one very specific target persona. Jitna target kar sakte ho, target karo. Don't just have any random doctor, because the doctor sitting in your gully and the bloody doctor sitting in your, your Vikram and your, what's that hospital? Your Malia hospital and all the big shot hospitals. They'll be very different doctors. Okay, so kind of categorize them in different places and then start approaching them, right? Build your product accordingly that way. And just trust me, this will not happen overnight. This will not happen in one shot. You pick a couple of them, you do your test with a couple of different personas, and then you gradually, narrow down. That's exactly the process that you need to follow, in fact. And in fact, if you kind of want to read, check this book out by, Braden Kovitz. You will get your answer from here itself. Because all this photo that you're looking here, I've taken from the book itself. So I think this is one book I would highly recommend if you kind of want to start on how to start thinking on, building your next product, or how to find your next 100 customers, or how do you even pick features that you kind of want to publish in the first week or the second week, so and so, right? Because prioritizing features is also very important. And I think it was Nikhil's or somebody else's previous question. You asked about how do you prioritize your OKRs and your goals and all that. I showed the Eisenhower matrix, right? You can use that here as well. In fact, that's what these guys have done here. Excuse me. This is what these guys have done here also. So if you can look at this image, okay, this one, where the cursor is. So these guys initially, they asked everybody in the room, TK, how might you make this product better? Which is what this HMW here stands for, all right? And everybody kind of put one single line or question, we want to have this feature. This product should feel like, like there's an actual doctor in the person's house, right? They put all of this. Based on the themes that they get, they kind of organize all of their ideas in terms of themes. And then they go for the lowest hanging fruit, which has a maximum impact. Then once they have this, then they go and approach to the shortlisted persona and they start whiteboarding this way. Okay, so that's exactly how it happens. This is in fact the exact process which I follow with all my products or with anybody a consultant work with. I hope that answers your question.
Can you tell the name of the author? The book you told to?
Wait, 1 minute. I'm putting it in the chat here. For some reason, not able to type shit. Okay, wait, Chuck. I'll share that with Utkarsh. Yeah, just shoot your queries and all that to him, and I'll respond to him, right? So you guys can pick up the notes from him. I think that'll be better.
One more
Okay.
thing I would like to ask, that which is the free video editing tool would you recommend? Like the one you have edited, Bookwala.com app, Bookwala.com, the mobile thing you have used to edit
Yeah,
the.
so that wasn't a video that I made. Just mute yourself. No? Yeah. Yeah, so that wasn't the way. I didn't make that video. It was a YouTube video from Glide Apps itself, which I just hyperlinked there so people can kind of go and check it out. But I would recommend something like this. So it's not free anymore. Like I think for the first 2 or 3 videos, you guys can kind of make free videos. But I personally, trust me, I personally use these videos to with all my consulting clients back when I was starting with my agency as well. Bytable.com by far, in my experience, is the easiest way to make videos. It is also the easiest way to kind of make professional videos and edits as well. It's not a editing tool, but you can kind of make your own videos from here. I think an easy way for you guys to show you is the video that I made itself. Okay, I'll just play a 2-minute video. Utkarsh, I hope we have the time, huh?
Have like 5 more minutes. After that, we have to wrap.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, so I made this video, for example, right? I made it free of cost using that tool itself. Yeah. So it looks like a proper animated video. So let's say that you guys want to kind of show how your product works and all that. You guys can get mockups, iPhone or your computer mockups in Bytable itself. So you just have to put your screenshot there and ho jayega. You can create a pretty good video. So I hope that helps you.
Yeah, guys, we are running short on time. I know Varun has a really interesting stuff to share with you all, but Varun, can you mute yourself?
1 second.
Yeah. So yeah, I know all of you have a lot to to talk to him. So right now, as we are running short on time, what we can do is we can have a questionnaire ready where you can pull in your put in your queries, and if Varun is free sometime next week, we can request him to take on our Instagram live, and you can join him there, and then or either he could we could circulate your queries to him. He could answer those by text or by sending in the the required material that would be helpful or essential for you guys to answer your queries or any any sort of help that you're looking from him. So I hope that sounds good to all of you. I would like to thank Varun for this amazing webinar session. And I hope, Varun could keep taking up time for EDC in the coming future as well. And I would like to thank all the attendees who have joined this session and have cooperated with us. And I hope there had been an amazing value delivery from Varun that you guys would be taking home today. And I hope in the next few months we have June free, we have July would be exams, but due to COVID, there is a time, most of the time we are going to get free. And in this time, I feel this is the right time that we take the call to start off rather than just keeping our idea in our mind. And EDC is always there to support you guys, whatever you have in your mind to bring that to the real ground. So I hope, you guys will be staying in touch with us. And there's one important announcement I want to do regarding EDC. So EDC is going to open the recruitment for next session, that is 2020 and 2021. So we have few exciting leadership positions at our end. That is, we are hiring the new president, vice president, team leaders. So we are going to open up the recruitment next week. So whoever is interested, they can send in their resume and plan of action. Don't worry, you will be getting a notification through our social media channels. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook to get the information about the recruitment and any upcomings that we are planning on. And I would like to thank you all again, and I would like to thank the wonderful team of EDC BID who has put their, all their efforts to pull this webinar and make it one of the successful webinar. So I hope you guys will follow us for more updates.